This week in the world of sports entertainment, a popular YouTube channel said goodbye to all of its strongest wrestling personalities. That's right, we're having to say goodbye to fan favorites such as Cyborg, Glass of Milk, and small Irish bloke named Greg, as they're all off on holiday together. Who did you think I was referring to? Hello, my fellow Marks, and welcome to the Remark, the show that is henceforth going to see how long it can maintain a streak of being unchallenged by YouTube's copyright system. Tweet your support for us by using hashtag #TheStreak when you talk about the new episode. If you're watching me say this right now, it means that we're up 1-0. My name's Martin, and I just got back from seeing the WWE-produced ripoff of It starring Doink the Clown, the tagline for which is "They all float over into a pinfall down here." I honestly feel like I've done that joke before, but if that is the case, you're all wrestling fans, you should be used to recycled garbage content by now. This week, Raw comes to us from No Way Jose, California, where General Commissioner Managerial Manager Man Kurt Angle comes out to explain that he's so excited about upcoming Raw pay-per-view No Mercy that he's lost the ability to speak like someone who isn't just relaying dialogue being fed to him through an earpiece.
We're only 6 days away from No Mercy, and I couldn't be any more excited than I am right now.
I'm just really excited. This is what excited sounds like. On Christmas morning, I throw open the windows and call out to the children playing in the streets, "It is Christmas and I could not be more excited than I am in this current moment." Kurt is surprisingly honest about the amount of wrestling content you can expect to be featured on this episode of Raw.
We have 2 matches.
Someone backstage asked Kurt, "How many matches do you want to have tonight?" And he replied, "Oh, it's 2. It's damn 2. Little Kurt Angle joke there. Nah. Kurt informs all of us that have managed to go more than 5 minutes without being reminded by social media and or a barrage of WWE Network commercials that John Cena versus Roman Reigns is happening this weekend. Which is of course the cue for all the smarks to start pretending that they have zero interest in that match and are much more interested in some of the more classic catch-as-catch-can style contests featured this weekend, such as Suplex Man versus Big Show with a work rate.
John Cena versus Roman Reigns.
No, they're not booing the concept of this match. They're clearly just very upset that the WWE decided against having this match headline next year's WrestleMania, where they would have been able to boo it on a much larger scale. Worked shoot promo in a can, The Miz arrives with rejected members of the Tojo clan Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel, and The Miz proceeds to lay into genital mangler Kurt Angle for not featuring him in a match 2 pay-per-views in a row. Kurt apologizes for the mix-up and explains he accidentally switched contracts with The Miz and Brock Lesnar and just hadn't noticed till now. Miz is baffled that this is the 2nd pay-per-view in a row where the Intercontinental Rubber Chicken won't be defended, so Kurt tries to make up for it by announcing a qualifying match for Miz's belt.
When Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, Elias, and Jason Jordan will compete in a fatal 4-way match tonight, winner faces you at No Mercy.
This is your daily reminder that former NXT running joke Elias is being handled better and being given more title shots than former NXT champion Sami Zayn. And if you still think the universe makes sense, congrats! You're handling all of this way better than I am. Miz takes issue with Kurt sticking Jason Jordan in the match without having earned it, to which Kurt Angle deconstructs Miz's argument and explains why Jason Jordan actually does deserve a shot at the title match.
You know, I'm getting really sick and tired of your whining and complaining. Hopefully, God willing, fatherhood will change you.
Oops, my mistake. He basically just sticks his fingers in his ears and goes nya 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 nya. Still a step up from what GM Mick Foley would have done, presumably making an impassioned, rambly speech about how historic Jason Jordan's conception was before sticking him in a Hell in a Cell match against Noel Foley in a historic Offspring in the Ring match, because of history. Miz takes the opportunity to stick it to Kurt Angle and remind him what a terrible father he was for not raising a child nobody knew existed. That might sound a bit unfair, but do keep in mind that Miz has been consistently defending a title belt that nobody knew existed.
I'll be there day one with my child.
The joke's on you, Miz. You're a pro wrestler. That ain't happening. Miz lays into Kurt with abandon. No, the actual word, abandon.
Because it doesn't matter if you're abandoning
this sentence. Jason Jordan takes generic offense to his father being spoken to in such a fashion, and he enters the ring with a clinical and well-thought-out series of points with which to refute Miz's claims of nepotism.
Say one more word about Kurt, and I'm gonna knock those pretty little teeth down your throat.
Oh, my mistake. No, he's just gonna threaten him with unsanctioned violence. Good to know the classic heel-babyface dynamic still exists. Heel says something that makes sense and threatens to undermine the babyface. Babyface says, yeah, well, I'm gonna punch you. Side note, I'm glad I'm not the only one who noticed Miz's pretty little teeth. Booker T continues to not understand his role on commentary or the actual story taking place in the ring.
I hate to say it, but if I was the Miz, I would feel the same way that he feels right now. Getting leapfrog is not right.
Booker T there having no problem sympathizing with the guy who literally just got done accusing his boss of being a terrible father. Jason Jordan insists that they throw the Miztourage into the qualifying match for a shot at the Intercontinental Carrot on a Stick, knowing full well that not only did he inherit Kurt's legendary wrestling skills, but also his ability to win matches where the odds are stacked against him. Now if Samoa Joe had been involved, Jordan's odds drastic go down. The segment ends with Jason Jordan suplexing the Miztourage, because if anything is going to prove that he isn't being treated with favoritism, it's attacking two people outside of a match right in front of the boss with zero repercussions. Well, we're just over 5 minutes into this thing and the video's not been taken down yet. Still 1-0 on the streak. Don't forget to hashtag your support. It does absolutely nothing, but it feeds my ego. Probably the one thing about me that doesn't get fed frequently. Backstage, Jason Jordan's temper flares. Sorry, I mean, Jason Jordan's temper is as intimidating as a man wearing flares.
You know, Miz has been talking about you for weeks. Oh, God.
Note to potential actors, if the stage directions say, growls angrily, maybe come up with something more believable than,
Oh, God.
Jason Jordan complains about all the mean pro wrestlers who are being mean to him. The meanies.
I walk up and down these hallways. I hear the whispers. I see the looks.
I would pay good money to see a backstage segment where Jason Jordan walks by a group of wrestlers who are whispering to each other, looking at him and giggling like school children before blushing and turning to look away, like nothing's going on. To which Jason Jordan, of course, has to respond with,
Oh, God.
Because what else would your natural reaction be?
What did you think was gonna happen when that came out that I was your father?
I don't know. I didn't ask for this.
Trust me, nobody asked for this. Kurt tries to assuage Jordan's concerns about all that locker room talk.
They're gonna talk about me. They're gonna talk about you. I know you're strong enough to fight back, but sometimes it takes more strength not to fight back.
An important life lesson there from this show centered completely around how fighting fixes literally every problem that arises.
You win this match tonight, and you go on to No Mercy, and you defeat Miz for the Intercontinental Championship. Do you understand?
It's very important to know when not to fight. Now go out there and fight a bunch of guys so that you can earn the right to fight another different guy. Hey Jason Jordan, how are you enjoying that all-you-can-eat buffet?
Oh, God.
Later in the night, Kurt Angle's continued excitement about No Mercy is off the charts.
Absolutely is. No Mercy's turned out to be an incredible pay-per-view. I'm excited about it.
Off the charts in this case meaning that it doesn't even make the top 200 list. Kurt encounters a problem that we've all faced in our lives at one point or another. Having a telephone call interrupted by a silent man in S&M getup facing the wall a few feet away.
Hey, can I call you back?
Goldust is no longer wearing his face paint, as it got removed the week before by Bray Wyatt, making this the single most effective and lasting thing that Bray Wyatt has done to another wrestler. Nothing else that Bray has done has had such a lasting effect as to matter so much as a week later, so this is Bray's legacy. Not winning the WWE title earlier this year, because who even remembers that? No, years of establishing him as some sort of creepy cult wizard leader guy have led to this moment. The moment where he wiped the paint off another man's face. Bray Wyatt's fans must be feeling pretty vindicated right about now. They stuck it out this long, and by golly, was it worth it. Turns out the tree don't fall far from the apple when it comes to portraying anger and frustration. Michael Cole conducts an interview between Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar, while Paul Heyman tries to figure out why Lesnar has sellotaped a single jelly baby to the back of his head.
And the Universal Champion, Brock Lesnar, accompanied by his advocate, Paul Heyman.
Braun Strowman doesn't just have the ability to flip announce tables upside down, he also has the power to completely invert common English idioms.
My actions speak for my words. I don't have to tell you how confident I am.
Most people just say their actions speak louder than their words, but Braun, his actions speak for his words. So when he has to go into a Starbucks and order a coffee, it's a very involved process. Just a large, sweaty, bearded man miming the action of grinding coffee beans. His actions speak for his words.
The ball's on my side of the court, Paul. You've seen it week after week.
Good to know that Braun Strowman shows Paul Heyman his ball on a weekly basis. Heyman finally decides to break his silence regarding the jelly baby taped to Lesnar's head.
And as we head toward No Mercy...
I don't get this. Excuse me, I don't get this. I don't get the premise here.
Hey, Jason Jordan, show us your impression of Jack Bauer trying to say grace.
Oh, God.
Later in the night, Roman Reigns comes out to address his opponent this Sunday, John Cena, and it sounds like the fans are booing. But they're not saying boo, they're actually saying shoot, because that's what this whole damn feud has been emulating. You see, ever since John Cena came to Raw, he's come right after Roman Reigns, and they've been trading barbs that intentionally skirt the line between sports entertainment and reality, which is of course really quite exciting. Until you realize that in order for more than half of the things that they're saying to make sense, the show basically has to concede that everything else that is happening, storyline-wise, is totally fake and staged and meaningless. Cena's first promo he cut on Reigns called him out for his poor promo skills, which is essentially like tuning into an episode of Law and Order and seeing Christopher Maloney chastising Ice-T for his bad acting. Sure, it might be entertaining, but it's at the expense of literally everything and everyone else. But hey, the promos have been fun and the match is sure to be a hell of an event, so let's just sit back and try to enjoy oh crap, Booker T has something to say.
This man right here, Roman Reigns, and confidence is oozing out of this man. We hear him talk about The Undertaker all the time.
I think he's mentioned Taker twice since retiring him. But sure, all the time. Roman takes a break from constantly name-dropping The Undertaker to say a bunch of rude swears. Because as it turns out, the one missing ingredient that the WWE forgot to add to the Roman Reigns brand to make him a big star was the ability to say the S-word.
John Cena might be the best talker ever, but the thing is, sometimes he says stupid.
Ah yes, saying stupid shit. Something a wordsmith like Roman Tater-Tot Reigns would have no first-hand experience with.
I don't know, I don't have a mirror, but do I look like a jacked up white guy with a giant head and a military crew cut? If I did, I wouldn't have a career here. Ask Alex Riley about that.
Hey man, say that to his face. Roman lets his words speak for his actions.
You see, I'm not like John. I don't have to talk. I let my actions talk for me. That is why when I say something, it means something.
Like when you unironically uttered the phrase suffering succotash, for example. Roman hangs a Superman punch-sized lantern on the fact that this feud is basically The Rock versus John Cena on a budget by bringing up footage of Cena's pre-WrestleMania promo where he insisted he'd always be in WWE. Which is a great point from Roman, as it shows that Cena is more of a hypocrite than anything. If only this hadn't been something The Miz had been saying constantly about Cena in their months-long feud earlier this year, it might actually have had an iota of impact. If you feel like a lot of what I'm saying about this feud is less funny than usual, that's probably because I'm speaking as myself rather than as a character, which I suppose is what they were really going for with this feud, making it kind of appropriate, really. After all, I might not be doing anything creatively entertaining, but at least I'm saying what a lot of you want to hear, which is exactly how I would describe all of these promos. Booker T is totally up to speed. Which is a downgrade because he used to be up to crack.
They've pulled no punches verbally in the past few weeks, but we can guarantee they'll be throwing bombs at one another this Sunday. These two can't stand the sight of one another.
Well, we don't see Alex Riley anymore, right?
Oh, shut the fuck up, Donnie. You're out of your element. The Riley man is not the issue here. Hey, Jason Jordan, can you do an impression of Alex Riley watching this promo from home?
Oh, God.
Hesitantly heading over to SmackDown Live, the Cringe Brothers introduce WWE Champion Jinder Mahal, a wrestler of Indian descent who the WWE feels is the perfect man to push representation. Oh no, not ethnic representation. They just really needed someone who could represent all the dumb racist jokes that the WWE writing team share in private text chains.
The fine people of Japan feast on feline and dine on dolphin. Shinsuke, you always look the same. They call you Mr. Miyagi.
Yes, a "that's too far" chant. Possibly the first time a WWE crowd has ever felt the need to chant something along those lines. And these are people that popped wildly for women stripping each other's clothes off, men getting thrown onto thumbtacks and barbed wire, Al Snow, and just last week, a 72-year-old man getting the proverbial crap kicked out of him until he was a bloody mess. So, you know, the WWE set a very low bar, but they still managed to limbo right under it like their name was bloody Barbados Slim. Jinder Mahal makes light of the many faces of Shinsuke Nakamura.
But at least his face is still full of delight. Here is his angry face. And here is his artistic face. Here is his defeated face.
Oh yeah, real funny joke there, Jinder. Just referring to the same still image of a wrestler over and over again, saying the same thing only with slight variations on it. Oh, what a brilliant comedic mind you have. Hey, you know who I really miss? Adam Rose! Adam Rose. Adam Rose. Hey, Jason Jordan, what's the average reaction from the viewing audience to this awful segment? Well, that's your lot for the Mark Remark this week. Tune in next time to see if our streak of being untouched by copyright strikes will make it to a whopping 2-0. Until next time, keep toodling them pips.